So today we're going to talk about an exciting new feature that's coming to Spotify in 2 weeks from now. So today's an exciting day because Spotify has announced a release date for one of their most anticipated new features, which is the release countdown. So if you've never seen this before, they've been teasing it for like a year and a half, but it allows you to have an album on your Spotify profile page with a release date. So people are always saying you need to get pre-saves, and the act of getting pre-saves on your new song or your album is kind of a nightmare because it's not inside of the Spotify app. This is a native pre-save feature directly inside the app. And they have some very specific language here that I want to address right off the bat before we go into the features, but it's dropping for all eligible artists on July 24th, 2024. So immediately my thought is, okay, what is eligible? Is this like only artists with a crazy number of monthly listeners and only certain countries, only certain whatever distributors? And no, actually, I went into the help article. It's actually just artists with 5,000 active listeners in the last month, which is like super reasonable for this. Because if you don't have 5,000 active listeners per month, this feature's not really going to help you much anyways, right? I was a little worried that there were going to be some country limitations. And when I scroll down in here, they actually do address that. Countdown pages are available to use in the Spotify desktop and mobile app in every market Spotify operates in. And clips and countdown pages are viewable in the Spotify mobile app in 70 plus markets. So it seems like there's no country limitations like with Showcase, where it's only available to US for like 6 months, and Marquee for only available in the US for like a year. This seems like it's going to go to anyone that hits this threshold. In a nutshell, it allows you to put a countdown timer on a release page. So this little video here gives a really accurate kind of summary. It's going to loop in a sec, but basically you can have an album on here. There's going to be a countdown timer. People can directly pre-save it on inside of Spotify without using a third-party tool like a Hyped It or a Feature FM or whatever. And then you can have clips and merch items. So clips are like TikTok videos that you can upload on Spotify. And then you can attach merch to the release as well. And I think tour dates, I think they said somewhere as well. But this basically allows you to use that page on your profile as not only a way to get pre-saves on your album, but a way to like further engage your fans, get them excited about your release, get them to buy some merch, get them to check out these videos, etc. And when they pre-save it, they get a push notification and it gets added to their library. So this section right here really summarizes a lot of the advantages around these countdown pages and why I'm so excited for this to come. It's challenging to break through the noise with new music. Building pre-release momentum across multiple platforms that are disconnected where the streaming actually happens is exhausting and inefficient. 100% true. Countdown pages are a game changer, offering the first ever way to drive pre-saves for your upcoming music directly on Spotify, right where fans are listening. And that's really the big problem that we've had with pre-saves for forever, is that the pre-saving isn't native to the platform. Like Spotify has no concept of a pre-save. You might have heard a myth at some point where people say, oh, if you get a lot of pre-saves, Spotify will add you to an editorial playlist, more likely. But the thing is, Spotify doesn't actually see pre-saves right now. This Spotify will see pre-save. So I wonder how this data is going to impact what they do in terms of pre-release marketing. If they see a song is just blowing up on pre-saves, do they in fact consider that for editorial or whatever type of placement on their system? I have to imagine they probably do. Now, Spotify is pushing this notion here, pre-saves on average nearly 70% of all users who pre-save an album stream it in week 1. I don't know if I buy that. Maybe from their studies with bigger artists, this is true. But from what I've found in personal experience, basically there's a reason why I've been telling people for years, don't bother with pre-saves. They're a waste of time. Now, this does change everything because these pre-saves give you push notifications. These pre-saves are native to Spotify. There's no weird logging in thing. So maybe these are a lot better. One downside is with the old tools, you would often get the user's email address. With this, I almost guarantee we're not going to get the email address of the people who are pre-saving your record. So it's a trade-off, right? On one hand, it's infinitely easier for a fan to pre-save it. On the downside, Spotify retains ownership of that fan's data instead of you having ownership of that data, which that does matter. This is also very cool. It says specifically that this tool is built to support Waterfall releases. So if you don't know what a Waterfall release is, I'll link a video right here, but basically it's when you have like a single that drops and then a month later you drop a 2-song single where song number 1's new, but song number 2 is that previous song. And then a 3-song single drops later where the previous 2 have already been released, but there's 1 new track on it. And it gives this impression of like an album that's kind of growing month over month or however long of a time period between releases. This tool is apparently designed for that. So countdown pages are dynamic. So you can drop singles, clips, and merch over time, boosting pre-saves and engagement. Meaning, you can have your album page live on Spotify, but maybe only one song is available to stream. But then, let's say a month later, or 2 weeks later, or whatever you decide, you can have another song go live. And then later, another song go live. So instead of having to do this waterfall thing that we've been doing for a while, this tool kind of replaces it in a more convenient and a more sexy way. Because a lot of the thing that people hated about doing waterfall releases, their discography would become a mess because they couldn't actually clean it up and make it look the way they wanted it to look. Now, they also have countdown page stats. I was a little worried it wouldn't get any analytics, but they do say there's going to be some type of stats, including the total number of pre-saves, impressions, and the percentage of pre-saves that went to stream the song in the first 7 days. So we will be able to tell exactly how engaged the people that are pre-saving are, and we can check Spotify if their 70% claim is actually accurate. Now, one thing I don't know is how they're going to incorporate clips into this, because clips is also a tool that's in beta, and there's not really a threshold for when you get access to clips. So they're talking about how with these countdown pages, putting clips on them is super cool and super helpful and increases engagement. But if you don't have access to clips, like, are we going to get access to clips when we get access to this? That I'm not sure. But I do know some people that have access to clips, and so maybe I can show you some of that as well if I have those artists' permission to do so. So yeah, I'm super excited. This could, if it goes well, change how we market our music on Spotify forever, because this is a huge shift in how we promote our stuff. I suspect that for me, driving ads using conversion campaigns directly to Spotify pre-save countdown pages, that's going to be one of the first things I try when I access to this tool. And I'm assuming it's going to work just like normal. But if you want to learn how to do those ads before this tool comes out and I can test it, check out this video right here to see the entire process from start to finish. I'm super excited. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe so you can see when I cover it in the future. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.